Australia is the seventh largest continent in the world and unfortunately, also one of its most arid. Covering an area of 2.97 million square miles, it is home to just 39 million people. Australia's centre part comprises the majority of a desert-filled interior, however its northeast and southeast are home to lush rainforests and stunning mountain ranges. This breathtakingly gorgeous continent is home to many ancient cultures and a diverse range of flora and fauna, and over decades scientists have made some of the most terrifying and mysterious discoveries on the continent of koalas and kangaroos. From the Australian Stonehenge to the world's oldest civilization, join us as we discover the 10 most mysterious discoveries in Australia. Number 10. The Ancient Trade. Before Europeans explored and settled Australia in the 17th century, many thought the Aboriginals were isolated from other cultures. But various discoveries changed that view. In 2014, an archaeology group known as Past Masters uncovered a surprising find at a remote island in Australia's Northern Territories, an 18th-century Chinese coin from the Qing dynasty. While this was most likely from trade between the Chinese and nearby Indonesians in the 1940s, a 1,000-year-old coin minted in East Africa shows just how extensive trade was in the Indian Ocean. Chinese merchants likely traded with the northern Australians for their sea cucumbers, which were considered a delicacy. Further proof of Chinese contact with the Aboriginals comes from oral histories that speak of Chinese visitors and an Aboriginal practice of using Chinese coins while fishing. Number 9. Australia's Stonehenge. Stonehenge in England remains a celebrated prehistoric site, but several similar sites have been found around the world, with one being near Mullumbim in the northern area of New South Wales. The site was originally discovered in 1939. It was damaged quite badly during the 1940s. Because of this, the location of the site has been a secret to prevent further damage. Dating back to the Paleolithic era, it is one of the oldest standing stone structures in the world. The 181 sandstone stones could not have occurred naturally, and the nearest sandstone quarry is nearly 20 kilometers, 12 miles away. Inscriptions on the stones could also prove to be one of the oldest human languages ever discovered, and lost letters recently rediscovered show that the original discoverer translated around 28,000 of the language's words. Number 8. Mysterious Maree Man. This gigantic geoglyph near Maree, a town in central South Australia, has puzzled scientists for decades. This new NASA image was shot by the space agency's Operational Land Images satellite, and it's confusing scientists. With lines over an amazing 115 feet wide, the towering Maree Man is easily visible from space. However, would you believe the landmark was only discovered in 1998? It was discovered by a pilot flying over the outback. Not a single witness got to see the creation of the Maree Man, but still somehow a person or group of people were able to create this huge drawing of an Aboriginal hunter without being seen, which shows the absolute isolation in this part of Australia. The geoglyph measures 17 miles around the full perimeter, which makes the Maree Man the largest geoglyph and work of art in the world ever. However, there have been several rumors about its mysterious creation. Some people claim the artwork was simply a publicity stunt, while others believe the image is either a message to aliens or was built by them. And although NASA has revealed these pictures of the incredible work of art, they too have failed to solve the mystery of the Maree Man. Number 7. World's Oldest Axe. In the 1990s, a small rock fragment about the size of a thumbnail was discovered in Western Australia. It was quickly forgotten, but was re-examined and was discovered to be a fragment from an ancient axe 46,000 to 49,000 years old. This would make the axe fragment the oldest axe ever discovered, and shows that the Aboriginals were on the cutting edge of prehistoric technology. Though just a piece of a larger tool, there is enough to give a good idea of what the axe may have looked like. Number 6. The Rising Seas. Between 18,000 and 7,000 years ago, sea levels rose nearly 120 meters, 400 feet. The only culture that documented this was the Aboriginals of Australia, who faithfully kept up an oral tradition for over 300 generations about the rising seas. This is a remarkable feat for a culture who had no written histories, since oral traditions rarely remain relevant after 800 years. The Aboriginals used a unique cross-generational cross-checking process that allowed stories to be kept accurately over multiple generations. There are some 21 indigenous stories about the rising water levels that range from one tribe describing the loss of their hunting grounds to allegories about angering an ancestral being who subsequently swallowed their lands. Number 5. The Aborigine Disaster Legends. As further evidence of remarkable Aborigine oral traditions, legends concerning catastrophic events have proven effective in allowing modern-day researchers to discover disasters throughout Australia. One example is the Henbury meteorite field. It wasn't found until 1899 and wasn't recognized as impact sites until 1931. But the Aboriginals near the site maintained legends, warning others about the fire devil, who struck there over 4,700 years ago. Throughout the 20th century, Aborigines would tell their local legends of fire devils to visitors, and because of the living memory of the meteorites at Henbury, increased attention is now being paid to the local myths when trying to document the past. Number 4. Australia's oldest Aboriginal art. The Aboriginals have a long tradition of art, with sites dating back thousands of years. In the Northern Territory, ancient Aboriginal art was discovered in a rock shelter known as Boomerang in 2011. The artwork is over 28,000 years old, making it the oldest known cave art in Australia, and some of the oldest in the world. However, another site containing ancient rock art, located in the Kimberley in Western Australia, could prove to be thousands of years older still. The oldest proven art in the Kimberley region dates back 17,500 years ago, but this number is disputed, as newer scientific methods have been discovered to date the art. Starting in February 2016 and using newer uranium series dating, researchers hope to find the true age of the Kimberley art, which could be almost 50,000 years, making the Aboriginal art some of the oldest continuous records in history. Number 3. The Kimberly Mega drought. While work is being done on the true age of the Kimberley cave art, other more recent Aboriginal art from the region serves as evidence for a disastrous event that completely changed the landscape of Western Australia. Sometime around 17,000 years ago, the Gwayan people appeared, but disappeared, a few thousand years later, and were replaced by the Wandjina. To find out what happened to the Gwayan, researchers looked into the pollen record of the area and found that 6,300 years ago, pollen dramatically changed, showing that the area went from a lush landscape to the scrubby arid conditions present today. In addition, sediments show a large increase in dust, indicating that a mega drought occurred around the same time the Gwayan disappeared. This mega drought severely impacted the local tribes of the region, causing them to alter their behaviors. However, they didn't leave the area, as stone tools show that it was continuously occupied. Number 2. The world's oldest civilization. The Aboriginals have long been overlooked by historians when it comes to the distant past, but a DNA study shows that the Aborigines of Australia make up the world's oldest civilization. Ancestors can be traced back over 75,000 years. Humans began to migrate from Africa at this time, and the ancestors of the Aboriginals split from other Eurasians 57,000 years ago, finally settling in Australia around 31,000 years ago, after splitting with the Papuans who now occupy Papua New Guinea. Finally, the Aboriginals were left alone in Australia when the continent broke off around 10,000 years ago. Number 1. Boomerang attacks. 800 years ago, a man now known as Kakutja died when a deadly blunt object struck his forehead. Recently, Kakutja was found very well preserved in New South Wales, shedding light on Aboriginal conflicts of the time. Fighting was a major part of Kakutja life. He had 2 other head injuries that had partially healed. The wound that killed him was a 15-centimeter gash across his head that resulted from being hit by the sharp edge of a wooden boomerang. Boomerangs were long used by Aborigine tribes. As for its effectiveness, Kakutja serves as a chilling example. There is very little knowledge of Aboriginal conflicts in the past. But Kakutja at least shed some light as to certain tribes' vicious, lethal tactics. Check out any of the videos on your screen right now and subscribe to your left.